morning, everyone, and thank you for tuning
Good
in to
morning.
another live edition of Wealth Building Wednesday. Wealth Building Wednesday airs each and every Wednesday morning, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, right here live on Facebook. You can check us out on the Selma Center for Nonviolence Facebook page, as well as the Black Belt Community Foundation Facebook page. We are excited this morning because we have a whole team. Y'all are used to seeing just two faces, but we have an entire team to give you great information, y'all. Each one teach one. So if you see a familiar face, and even if you don't, like, comment, and share this video. This is going to be some valuable information about really what can oftentimes be a very tough topic for us to cover, which is life insurance. I just want to remind folks that if you miss any little tidbit of information, you can always log in and check out this video and many, many others on Facebook, because we do store them. And you can also hear us live on WBFZZ 105.3 FM at 1:30 every single Wednesday. So Wealth Building Wednesday all around. We want to welcome the Kemper Life team. Welcome, everyone. And a
Good morning.
special thank you to Mrs. Afreshane Robinson. Ms. Robinson is a phenomenal, not just real estate agent, but she is also your local insurance provider. So we want to make sure that we welcome the entire team and give Ms. Robinson an opportunity to introduce folks, or if folks can introduce themselves. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, but we all are members of the Kemper Life team here at District 812. We make staff 2. I am their sales manager, and they all have been with me over a year, except for we got one newcomer, Mr. Devontae Ramsey, but he's doing an exceptional job as a new agent. I will give them the opportunity to introduce themselves, starting in debit order, and they will tell you this the areas that they service. 2.
My name is Deborah Billingsley. I cover Utah, Demopolis, Greensboro, and Tuscaloosa.
My name is Nicole Hardy, and I service Debit 2. I'm out of Utah, Panola, not Greensboro, I'm sorry, Tishaby, and Bowling.
Hi, I'm Amanda Brown. I service Agency 7, which covers Uniontown and Marion Junction.
Well,
I guess I go. Hey, my name is Devontae Rams. I cover the Greensboro area.
everybody is static, and can y'all hear me? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear anybody, but my name is Kimberly Jackson. I service Livingston, Elps, ML, Gainesville, and the Geiger area, Sumter County.
Hello, I'm Emily. I cover the New Bern, Greensboro, and Malva area.
Hey, my name is Devontae Rams. I cover the Greensboro, New Bern area, and Uniontown.
Okay, but that's staff 2 in the areas that they're covered. Now we are licensed agents for the entire state of Alabama. They can service people in other areas, but those are their main focus areas that they service. But our entire district actually service the Black Belt area. We go from Dallas County all the way down to the Mississippi line, and I think we also cover Greenville, and the Haynesville area also too.
Awesome. So now, how do we look? We're gonna start at the end and bring it back again. How can we get in touch with you guys? Because you just talked about a huge territory. Is there a number that we can call regardless of our location to get in touch with you?
Yes, ma'am. Our district office is 334-874-4302. I'm the sales manager. My personal cell phone number is 505-1824. And at the end of the broadcast, I will let them give you their individual contact numbers, and so you can add that in the chat as well.
Absolutely. So we thank you again. The entire team is here with us. So we want to just make sure that we get around to all of the questions that we have in audience. If you are listening, if you're watching live and you have a question about life insurance, this is the team you can consult. Listen, you have a whole team of folks. You don't have to just ask one person. You got a whole bunch of people that you can ask great questions about life insurance. And y'all, this is a lot of times a very difficult topic, right? Because when we talk about life insurance, we're talking about the benefits that are paid out should something, well, as life ends, right? So what we want to do is make sure that we're able to offer as much information as possible. So just as a quick refresher, we've talked about life insurance before. Ms. Robinson, we've had you here before to talk about life insurance. But we do want to, for our new viewers, to find out what exactly is life insurance.
Okay, I'm gonna let my team answer these questions because they
Okay.
know these answers because this is what we do on a daily basis. So
Yes.
I'm Devontae, if you want to answer that question for her.
Okay.
Yes, man. Life insurance is a contract between an insurance policy and a policy holder. And the insurance company is considered the insurer. The insurer promises to pay a designated beneficiary a sum of money upon the insurer's death.
Okay. All right. So life insurance is truly an investment.
Yes, man.
Just as sure as we are born, we're going to pass.
Yes, man.
So as a way of, I guess, providing for our people, making sure that we are kept away well or put away
Yes.
well.
Mhm.
Um, this life insurance is an investment that we can count on.
Yes.
So what hardships have you all seen families endure when loved ones pass and there's no life insurance in place?
I'm
I'm
gonna let
not sure.
Amanda answer
Okay,
that question for you
Amanda.
because we talk about this on a regular basis, and everybody knows that Amanda is a preacher's kid in Selma, and so this is a subject that question is dear to her. Amanda, would you please answer that question?
Yeah.
Okay, the number one thing that is really seen a lot is the difficulty in paying the final expenses to the funeral home service provider. Um,
Mm.
sorry about that customer call. But and another thing is it delays in being able to lay the loved one to rest in a timely manner. And the worst of it all is like having to give up home. You know, sorry, customers. Having to give up. Yeah, it's work time. Sorry. They have to give up their personal things due to the loss of income and support and not being able
Mm.
to sustain for a period of time after a loved one's death because it's a bill and also they have other bills that they have to take care of. So that's really the main things that's a big issue with the hardships of, not having life insurance.
So, for our viewers and for our listeners, we want to make sure that you're taking these things into consideration, right?
Yes,
Because
please.
what she just shared, y'all, there is nothing. I can only imagine the feeling of, say, like the primary income in a household
Right.
no longer being there,
Yes.
Mhm.
right? And then, like she said, incurring bills to make sure that your loved one is put away, but the perhaps a delay in that because these expenses are just simply not
Mhm.
covered.
Yeah, and I
So,
think that people don't really consider that that there are expenses associated with death.
Right.
And I think a lot of people don't plan or don't think that it is a responsible thing to do to plan for those situations. But the funeral home service, it is a business.
Business.
It's
Right.
not a nonprofit. It's
Mhm.
not a government funded or grant money associated, business. The funeral home is actually a business that have employees that they have to pay, and they
Right.
have costs and stuff that are associated with them being able to provide the services that they provide. And if you don't have the money set aside, or you don't have insurance in place to cover those, it's a cost to them, and you still expecting your loved ones to be buried or put away. So insurance is a form of where you have taken care of this cost, and that this you can use this to pay the funeral home or pay for the final remains of your loved ones to be put to rest well.
Awesome. So now, I know we're going to toss it to another team member, but our next question is defining the difference, right? We've heard these terms, whole life and um, term life. What's the difference between the two of those type of life insurance policies?
Okay, I'm gonna ask Kimberly Jackson to answer that question. She's my team member that sells a lot of both, and she can give you a good difference on the difference between term and whole life.
Okay.
Hey y'all, I'm so
Hey.
sorry, but everybody is static and really, really bad, so the words kind of fading in and out. But the difference between term is it only provides you coverage for a limited amount of years, um and it expires once those years are up. And then the whole life is a permanent life insurance policy, which is in force as long as the customer continues to make their premium payments, and it also provides cash value that, in addition to the death benefit, that can be used towards future needs.
Now,
Um,
Steve, you must have known I was about to ask about that because the
yeah, a
whole
lot of
life
customers.
policies.
A lot of customers ask that they provide that cash value for them to use, as a source of income for future, you know, needs and stuff.
So, literally, what I hear you saying is that it's like putting money in the bank with a whole life insurance policy.
Yes,
Is there
ma'am.
anything different about like the payments? Is a term life policy cheaper than a whole life policy,
Yes,
or are
ma'am.
they equivalent? Okay,
Yes, ma'am. It's cheaper.
okay, like significantly cheaper.
Let's say the price you'll pay for $100,000 term policy will probably be the price you'll pay for a $20,000 whole life policy.
Oh wow, okay.
Hmm. Yeah, it's way cheaper. Big price difference.
Well, and the advantages are different.
Yes, ma'am.
Like you
The
said,
advantage is as well. Yes, ma'am.
yes. So we are going to continue to ask these questions about life insurance. Y'all, if you are tuned in and watching live, want to make sure that you are sharing this information. If you are listening to us on WBFZ 105.3 every Wednesday, 1:30 in the afternoon, Central Standard Time, you can catch all of this great information. Wealth Building Wednesday is brought to you by TRHT Selma. You can learn more about us on at trhtselma.org. You can also make contributions because this work is not free. Like Ms. Robinson said, even though we have foundation support, the WK Kellogg Foundation is a huge contributor to what we do. We want to continue this work. And if any of you all are familiar with the term grants, there's a beginning and there's an end. And although we want to be, Selma is working hard to be the flagship TRHT location across this country for folks to come in and visit and see what we're doing to create transformation in our community. Every single dime helps. So log on to trhtselma.org to make your contribution today. Again, now we want to dive back into these questions. We do have a question from the audience that if we could squeeze in here, Miss Robinson, at what age should someone get insurance for themselves and their children?
Um, Insurance needs to be considered at birth, of a child. Just say we can insure anybody age 0 to age 80. The rates of insurance are based on age, so there may be policies where the younger you are, the cheaper they are. We sell a lot of limited pay whole life policies with Kemper, so you can actually purchase an insurance policy on a child that would be paid up by the time that child is an adult or early adult, and then that is covered. That expense is covered. And the same thing for an adult now. The older you are, the higher the rate is, and that's because the risk of health issues. So you want to get insurance as early as possible so that you're getting a decent rate that may be more affordable, and something that may be paid before you reach retirement age. Then there's an expense that you don't have to worry about when your income, may have become limited, or you're on a fixed income. That's an expense that's taken care of.
Now that's good information to know. So we thank you, audience. Again, if you're watching and you have a question, simply type it into the chat, and we will ask one of our experts from the Kemper Life team to be busy and answer the question. So now, how can life insurance policies? Because I know that Miss Kimberly did talk to us about whole life and the fact that there is an accumulated money value, right? That can be, I guess, borrowed against. How can life insurance help families accumulate wealth?
Let me see. I'm gonna ask Deborah to answer this question because she's the policy info queen, and she's always submitting finding out information for her clients based on their policies. She researches those real well. Deb, can you answer that question for Miss Chapman, please?
Yes, life insurance help families build wealth because when the person passes away, the beneficiary receives that benefit tax free. And that's, government don't give away too much. So that is awesome that they allow them
Okay.
to get that benefit without having to pay taxes on it. And then another type of policy is an accelerated benefit where you can actually go in and pull money from your policy to pay for hospital bills, long-term care before you actually pass away. You can make sure your bills are paid for before your family actually has to deal with them. Another way is a single life premium policy where you make one premium and you have cash value in that policy that you can pull out and use before you leave here. You can take care of things that you want to take care of with that money before your family has to deal with them because you're already dealing with the loss of your loved one. You want to make sure everything is in order because that's already a troubling time for you.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you said that, Deborah, because again, life insurance can be a difficult topic, right? Because it forces us to consider the loss of life. And so when you think about the hardships, the grief that you may be
Mhm.
experiencing or your family members may experience when you leave, it's like, wouldn't we want to position our loved ones so that the financial part is not what the concern is, that folks can
Mhm.
actually focus on um, doing what's necessary for self, right? Getting well and healing from that. Like grief looks different for everybody, right? It's gonna take years. There are times my grandmother passed years ago, over 30 years ago, and I am still, there are moments when there's a smell, right? And it reminds me of her, and I'm like, oh man. So grief is a lifetime process. But wow, the weight we can take off of our loved ones when we invest in something like life insurance. So I truly appreciate um your knowledge, like your depth of knowledge is a wonderful thing. So now we can listen, each one teach one. Y'all better take this information and do something with it. This is not a joke, y'all. Wealth Building Wednesday really is an opportunity for us to develop, right, wealth, to grow wealth, one insurance policy at a time, one real estate investment at a time, one bank account, one savings account, all of these things, one day at a time, y'all. We're going to take it and we're going to build wealth and create transformation in our community. Listen, one Bitcoin at a time. Look, because we have talked about all of these things and we will continue to talk about these things because this is truly what Wealth Building Wednesday is about. And we support that with TRHT Selma. So we do have a question from the audience. Ms. Robinson, can you change your life insurance policy if you need more coverage in the future?
Yes, you can. You can actually you have to, well, you need to look at the terms of the policy, what is written in the policy. There may be, and it depends on the company. I just know at our company we do offer add-ons or additional insurance at discount rates at certain times, but you can always take out an additional policy, and of course the rate will be based on your current age and your current health condition at the time that you do the additional insurance. Just like with everything over a period of time, inflation cost goes up, that's associated with daily living, as well as the insurance business, as pertaining to the cost of funerals. So you want to make sure that you always have enough coverage. I would say always review your policies and the amount, and look at the costs associated with funerals at least once a year, to
Mhm.
determine and to make sure that you have enough coverage, so that at that time, if you do not, or you foresee in the future that you're going to need something else, to go ahead and get that taken care of ahead of time.
Okay. And so now we do have someone who wants to know how to talk to someone about policy. She said that her parents have old policies with mutual savings, and which changed to Kemper Life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how can they talk to someone about these policies?
You can call the office, and they can tell you what agent is assigned to that to those policies, on what debit they were written on, and that number is 334-874-4302, and you can just schedule an appointment to come out, have an agent come to you, or you to come in the office to get the questions answered about those policies that you have. If you can't get anybody on the phone, you can always call my cell phone, and I can research that information for you also. And my cell phone number again is 334-505-1824.
All right. And I just want to reiterate, it's 334-874-4302 is the office
Yes.
number. I'm
Mhm.
posting that in the chat. So even if you are not in a position, say you're driving and listening to the show, you want to go back, the number is listed in the comments section here. So you can call Kemper Life at 334-874-4302. So now I have another question.
Mhm.
So can life insurance cover things like the cost of a home, like paying off a home if the primary provider is now deceased? Like, can a life insurance policy cover things like that? I know we're talking about burial expenses and funeral expenses, but what about things like homes and cars that may be left behind?
Okay, I'm asking Nicole to answer that question. It's just so funny because we had a case similar. I guess these are standard things that happen, but me and her, we talked about this last week, and so she should be able to answer this question. She had this just recently.
Awesome.
Yes. Once the beneficiary still can be used as they like, unless specific conditions are notated by will or legal documentation stating otherwise.
Oh wow. Okay.
But I'm
So
reiterate that yes, the policies at the time that you're doing the application for insurance, it asks you to designate a beneficiary. That
yes.
beneficiary is the person that you trust to take care of your final expenses, and they would receive any proceeds of that death benefit that the policy covers. At that time, they can use that death benefit as they see fit, because it belongs to them. Unless we have times where some people make their children that may be a minor a beneficiary. Of course,
Mhm.
that money is held in trust until they become of age. But I've also seen where people have wills, and they designate what they want this money spent for, or this is to be held for this reason, that then of course the a trustee may be assigned, and then that money is distributed that way. But if there are no wills or any legal documentation saying, okay, this money has to be used for this and that, yes, they can use it to do pay for whatever the things that they are needed to do.
Okay. So now you tapped on beneficiaries. Like, are there some things that we should look for in a beneficiary? You just mentioned that some people opt to use their children as the recipients of the proceeds of a policy. Are there Do they have to be relatives even, if we're considering them to be beneficiaries?
No.
Can you have more than one?
Emily, you want to answer that question?
Hold on, I'm trying to find him. There she is.
Okay, yes, you can have more than one beneficiary.
Okay. And so, what are there any tips you can offer our listeners or our viewers about how to select a beneficiary? Like, is it okay to put a 3-year-old as because that's my child versus, should I select an aunt who may be the godmother as well of the child?
It's best to get someone that you can trust and of age that can handle the final benefits. I mean, final expenses on the policies.
Okay.
Like Shanae said, if they're not of age, it will stay in an entrusted account until the child is of age to receive the benefits.
Yeah,
So wait a minute.
it's always a plus to have. You need to have someone that is of legal age. Let's
Okay.
just say if you got $100,000 policy, you have two children and they are minors. I would suggest possibly having an adult that you trust or someone that may be considered that's going to take care of your kids. If something happens to you while they are underage, I would possibly do them 25% and then split the remaining 75% between my beneficiaries. That way, if something happens to me before that time, these my kids' money would still be sitting, and that person, that adult, can use that percentage that they have to take care of the funeral home and other expenses. But it's ways to that can be done. But I would not just list amount of child because that can hold up. And you have to go through all kind of legal hoopla to get the funeral home paid. So we got to look out for the funeral home because they need to get paid for the services that they provide.
Absolutely. So now we have another question from the audience, and then I want to definitely within our time slot be able to offer everyone an opportunity to share their contact information. So if we could just really quickly answer the question, what about a nonprofit or an organization that is near and dear to your heart? I guess the
Yes,
question is
you can, but once you do that, you can't go back and change that.
okay.
That I think that is considered like you can make a your church the beneficiary
Mhm.
of the policy, but once you do that, you cannot go back and change that at all. So
Okay.
that's something that you want to take in consideration if you have multiple policies, or if you do that, you may have, depending upon that company, you may have to take out another policy if something changes because you have already done that.
Okay. So again, I just want to thank everyone as we see our faces on the screen. Devontae, Nicole, Miss Emily, Amanda, Deborah, Miss Kimberly. Want to thank each and every one of you. And I also want to give everyone an opportunity to share your contact information with the audience. We have about a minute and 30 seconds. So if
go
you could,
go in debit order so everybody can get there. Starting with Deborah.
awesome.
Hi, I'm Deborah. My number is 205-928-4850.
My name
And
is
what
Nicole.
counties do you cover? I'm sorry. I want to make sure that folks who are listening are able to hear what counties you cover as well.
Like she has
I
Hale
cover
and Green.
Greensboro,
Okay.
Demopolis,
Hale,
Utah,
Green,
and
Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa.
Okay. Miss Nicole.
Yes. My cell phone number is 205-292-6616.
Can everybody hear me? Oh, mine is Amanda Brown, 334-8. Not eight. I'm about to give them the office number. I'm sorry. 334-553-4739.
Okay.
And
Kim.
I'm Kimberly Jackson. The number is 334-431-4180. I'm licensed to write anybody in the state of Alabama, but I'm covering
Correct.
Sumter County right now, which is Livingston, ML, Epps, all
Mm-hmm.
those areas. But I can write anybody in the state of Alabama.
Awesome.
I'm Emily. My number is 334-294-6190, and I cover the Hale County area.
Well, again, I want to thank all of you all for being here with
Oh,
us.
we missed Devontae.
Oh
Devontae.
Lord, come on, Devontae, come on, baby. Look,
Yes, bro. My name is Devontae Ramsey. I can be contacted at 334-267-2801. And I cover the Hale County, Tuscaloosa County area.
awesome. So now, see, he is. Look, thinks he's the baby of the bunch, so that's why I said,
Yeah.
"Come on, baby." Look. But we are super excited to have had all of you all featured here on today's Wealth Building Wednesday. We want to get each of you back because you are experts in your field, and we want to make sure that people are covered, y'all. We don't want families to experience grief and be thinking about have to be have to consider the financial impact, right, of loss. So we do want to continuously offer this information. So we thank each and every one of you all for being here, and we thank you, the viewers. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for watching us live on Facebook. Make sure you like, comment, and share this information. These are valuable conversations that are being had. We also want to invite you to listen in. If you are listening in your car right now on Facebook, you will have another opportunity to hear Wealth Building Wednesday on WBFZ, our media partner, 105.3 FM. They are a 50,000 watt station covering West Central Alabama, and we are super, super, super excited to be a part of the opportunity to share information, news you can use, facts about building wealth. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next Wednesday, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, y'all have a blessed week and see you for another Wealth Building Wednesday.